MB2 Underground. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of MB2 Underground. I am pop star Sarah Kiefer.
And I'm Joe Fox. Great to see you again, Miss Kiefer. Appreciate the serenade there.
Yeah, I got kicked out of my church choir as a kid, so.
Really?
Yeah,
What age is that?
Like 6.
Wow, man. I've got a hard choir story too. Yeah, I got kicked out.
Is it because your voice was bad too?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we shouldn't sing.
I couldn't sing. Okay, well, I appreciate that. Can we, before we get started, talk about the elephants in the room real quick?
Elephants?
Two elephants in the room. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. Which ones?
First one, you didn't tell me it was jumpsuit day.
Yeah, I was telling somebody earlier that what I learned about, have you heard about the difference between girl cute and boy cute?
No.
So like when women wear outfits that other women find cute, but like guys don't. I learned that this is girl cute because every woman I've seen today has been like, slay. You look great. I love the fit. And then I saw Aspen. Yes, I'm calling you out by name. He told me I look like a mechanic.
Yeah, well, he's rude. Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I just saying I have coveralls is what I call them.
What do you use them for? Mechanicking?
Well, I mean, mine are camouflaged, but like we could have matched.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just
So
saying.
that's the first elephant. What's the second?
Pepper's haircut.
Yeah, he did cut that hair.
Yeah, man, it's pretty intense.
I like it.
So anywhere we go, we got to take Pepper because nobody's gonna mess with us. We got like a Sons of Anarchy thing going on here.
He says he thinks he's 6'7".
Yeah, I mean this guy's never played a down of football, and I don't know how that happened, but like
Why? Just because you're tall, you have to play football?
and
It's pretty stereotypical.
Not just
of you, Joe.
tall, man. This guy is a house.
It's like, no, I'm skateboarding instead.
So we got a super cool guest.
I don't know. We'll see. He's got to earn that title first.
Gosh, I apologize for my co-hosts.
I'm just kidding. We're very excited.
Spiciness. Yeah, very excited. So this person and his firm provides a really vital service to MB2 partners, MB2 at large, and our partners specifically, right? And it's so vital that bad things happen when it's not done correctly, right? Like jail. So.
Like prison. Well, and we've already interviewed 2 of his siblings, right? I think we've already interviewed 2 siblings.
There are a lot of folks with the same name around in the MB2 family. So anyway, this is going to be super fun. This person's also kind of seen the evolution of MB2 in a very unique way and
I know, I'm
through
so
some
excited to
unique
get into
moments. Anyway, this will be a good one. So without further ado, the pride of Lakewood, awesome neighborhood in Dallas, Texas, Mr. Joseph Hildebrand. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Have you listened to your brother's episodes? Both of them?
I don't think my actual Blood Brothers episode is out yet.
Blood brother. That's intense.
As of today. And I have not made it to Cousin Jed's yet. But I look forward to it at some point. And let the record show that Jed is not a cousin that I'm aware of.
Just a brother from another mother, right?
That's right.
But you did do your homework. I heard you listen to some of the episodes.
I do.
Which one was your favorite?
I like enjoy the ones from guys that I've worked with for a really long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be cool.
So, Brooks Graves is a guy I've worked with for a really, really long time.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually one of my
Great dude.
very first MB2 clients. So,
Wow.
That was cool to kind of hear from him. And then obviously, worked with Gabe for a long time and worked with Mauricio for a long time. And so those guys that have been around for a long time, those are super interesting.
Yeah, you've been working with MB2 for a while. Can we hear that origin story?
Sure. Everything and everything kind of goes back to Justin Puckett.
Oh, my
Uncle
gosh.
Pucks.
Yeah, you call him Uncle Pucks. I call him the Hammer.
I don't like
Texas
either of them.
Hammer. The best.
Yeah. And so, went to A&M with Puckett and just a longtime friend of Puckett's. And, as he started working over here at MB2, just, I think he helped kind of introduce me to this and that owner, and then just kind of slowly started to working with them kind of one by one. So more on the kind of the individual side, right?
Okay.
And it was typically the younger guys too, the guys that didn't, at that time they were all really young guys.
Yeah.
I think when I joined in 2016, the average age of our owner was like 34.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
That checks out.
So younger guys.
Yeah. Yeah, so just started building trust, and taking care of them and doing a good job, and then they would kind of provide the referral for me to the next doc and the next doc, and then our firm, Saville, we don't just do work with individuals. We work with entrepreneurs. We work with business owners, and so there was a really quick and easy on ramp to kind of transition into working with the practices. And I think at that time it was probably 30 or 40 practices, which it wasn't small by any means, but it's 1/20th of the size of today.
Whoa, that math is freaky.
If that checks out.
That's gotta be
I think it
close.
does.
So yeah, and then I obviously got to know Dr. V along during that time as well.
Yeah.
And,
how did that go?
Well, how did you woo him? I mean, he's a tough customer, right?
yeah,
He's a tough person to get as a client.
and I think I was persistent, and just started to come up here a little bit. Got to meet him a few times, and then he had a few things kind of come up where he would ask my opinion about what was going on. And so basically he said, okay, well, if you really think you're right, why don't you do it for free? And I was like,
The true test.
okay, I've got a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, right. Young
Yeah.
family, but partner at a a lot of time.
I'll do that for free. But he was kind of at a crossroads on a couple of things he was working on. And so, I think I spent a lot of time. I was quite thorough and kind of laying out the options and kind of landed on a recommendation and really showed him that what made sense. And so I think I just won his trust by kind of that humility of being willing to like just show it, and I don't know what you guys are kind of working towards. I think the other ways I've earned trust with Dr. V was, I think as I was working towards finalizing this free work for him, I came up to deliver it here at the MB2 headquarters. And
Personal service, love it.
yes,
Yeah.
you guys know I'm up here a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I love
Can't
coming
get
up
rid
here.
of you.
And there'd always just be like weird stuff up here. There still is weird stuff up here, but particularly then just like
Is that like Joe shoving
Weird and fun.
stuffed llamas and unicorns in your face 20 minutes ago?
very similar.
Yeah,
very,
okay.
very
Girl dad,
similar.
girl
But-
dad. It's a girl dad.
But
thing.
there was a shopping cart, a Target shopping cart floating around the lobby.
Because why wouldn't there be?
I know, why not? And I
Good
think
point.
those hoverboards were starting to gain traction, and
Oh my gosh,
V was
yeah.
just kind of flying around down there.
2000 what? 12, 13?
12, 13,
something
probably
like that.
right around then.
Okay.
And he was like, get in that shopping cart. I was like, okay.
I've come this far. Why not?
Well, dignity.
Show
just
me
throw
the
that
money.
this way, and it hopped in, and at that time, this is kind of before. I mean, iPads were definitely out, but like just less like, hey, I got my iPad. Let me show you some documents and things like that.
Right.
So I'm here with like a big stack of papers, and in that shopping cart,
Climbing
and-
into a shopping
and
cart.
V is hoverboarding around, pushing the shopping cart, and
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
he.
Did we have workers' comp insurance at that time?
Well, and you were also in a suit too, right?
I was definitely
Oh,
dressed
no.
nice. Yeah.
Fatal mistake.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think that voyage ended up going to the upstairs and into the marketing room with some females that were really impressed with my state, and then Dr. B just hoverboarded out of there, and I was left to find a way out of that shopping cart.
I spent 2 years in that marketing room. I'm trying to imagine the door opening, a guy in a suit in a shopping cart with a giant stack of papers being shoved in and the door being closed.
Yeah, everything you think is
Okay.
is about right.
Well, it sounds like you earned his trust. Sounds like you did a good job.
Yeah, he now pays me.
That's great. In case anybody was wondering.
So that's good. But I mean, that's the beginning of a really long relationship, and also the beginning of a really long relationship with just MB2, the enterprise itself as well. So that's kind of where it took off.
Yeah. So I've got a lot of questions about Saville, and it's an incredible firm, and I kind of want to hear more and ask you some questions about the accounting industry in general. But
Sure.
Uncle Pucks always has the Presidente of MB2 Dental always gets to ask through us, the guest a question. So his requested question for you was, what is your lifetime spend at the combination of Miko for short, and Wingstop?
Oh,
you
man.
you are CPA.
Big Wingstop guy?
You don't have a spreadsheet with this?
I really wish I'd have bought Wingstop stock a long time ago because I would be eating there so frequently. It would be like a dividend right
Yeah,
then and there.
dividends.
But I mean,
What are we talking about? Tens of thousands?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
There-
I mean-
Obviously.
I mean, we're in probably 5 digits with just Mambo taxis.
I was about to ask
love it.
the Mambos alone.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Can't
I
just have
mean,
one. Have you ever been cut off from the Mambos?
No.
Okay, that happens.
I'm sure it does.
I ain't no scrub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a 2 Mambo limit.
No, all the waiters.
I can confirm there is not.
in our local
They know you.
Miko Tavern. Yeah, we hug.
That's how it is at the one over here. Susan goes so much that she has a waiter every time we go in. Miss Susan knows her order.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, the local restaurant.
It's just
All right.
yeah.
So tell us more about Saville, right? Arguably the best kind of middle market accounting firm, in the country. You guys have a ton of dental clients. Firm was founded in 1965. What makes you also so special and so unique?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the kind words about it. I mean, Saville, there's a lot of different things, right? So we're approaching 60 years.
Wow. That's pretty unique, right? Like,
It is.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near being 60 years old. That is super unique.
well, but in the the longevity of accounting firms, especially in the last call it 25 years, has dwindled.
Yes. So major change in the accounting industry, especially over the last 5 or 10 years. It's probably about 10 years behind the dental industry, to be quite honest. In
Interesting.
that there's a ton of private equity activity in the accounting industry.
Really?
There's a ton
That's
of consolidation. We kind of think of ourselves as kind of the last man standing in the DFW Metroplex.
Really?
A lot of our peers are now a part of national firms that have come in from
Really?
this or that place that want a piece of the Dallas market.
Yeah.
And things like that. But I think similar to MB2, I mean, we are fiercely proud of our independence and our culture.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have kind of stiff-armed those things along the way.
Wow.
I think there's been a ton of continuity in our leadership. So Mr. Saville, he passed away in the late 90s and passed the torch to a mentor of mine who served for 6 or 7 years. And then he passed the torch to Clint Pugh, who just served for 17 years.
Wow.
And then I guess Mr. Dodgen was in there as well too. But there's only been about 4 or 5 leaders of our firm over that 60-year period.
Yeah.
And so we're probably into our third generation of partners right now. And so those things, those values, those culture items, those things are really important, have been passed down in a very, very kind of tangible way. We're only in Dallas too, so we don't have we have some remote workers scattered throughout the country, but our main operation is here. And so we've got 175 strong here.
And has the thought process on that been you just didn't want to the firm didn't want to spread themselves too thin, or kind of what was the?
I mean, I think we're just we were able to do what we needed to do in one single location.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're opportunistic. Like if there's something that made sense in other places, and we're starting to have kind of a cluster of 3 or 4 remote plays in Austin and Houston, and so maybe there will be something like that at some point. But
I mean, you're doing work, I think, in 11 countries, is from my notes, right? I mean, that's 44 states. Like that's pretty serious.
That's
pretty
right.
profound.
Yeah. No, we have a big footprint, and we can, I think you still get that small town or small firm feel, right?
Yeah.
The communication, the responsiveness, and the things like that.
Yeah.
But we also have big reach on what we can do technically, and there's a big great group of people that are really good at what they do. And I appreciate you saying those things about our firm, especially as it relates to MB2. But I would be remiss to not mention that there are 3 or 4 people that lead our MB2 team that are absolutely fantastic.
Thebomb.com for sure.
They really are.
Yep.
And you've gotten to
Absolutely.
meet a few of them. And they really are outstanding. And then we probably have a team of about 30 people that serve MB2 in one way or the other throughout the year.
That's actually interesting. I was going to ask because you got introduced and started working with Dr. V back in 2012, 2013. So over a decade ago. You've been a part of the growth with us. What's that been like? I mean, you just had 30 people that support MB2. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. It's been a ride, right? And I'm sure there's some other vendors that feel like they've been a part of it too, but like I feel like I've been very, very close to it. And that's from, starting this kind of the work that I talked about before in that 2013, 2014 time period. And then leading up into 2017, where we had our first kind of, transaction or sponsor, which was, such a wild experience. I often tell people most of my gray hairs from that experience. It was, I was very close to it. Very, there's so many, that was a major restructuring event for the firm, for MB2, the enterprise. It was wild. It was complicated. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was just so thrilled, to
life-changing
to do that. Yeah. And then, you fast forward to like 2020 and like the pandemic happens and, people are just like scared and they're fearful. And so I know I worked a ton with my brother and a ton with people up here to make sure that, we're, figuring out what we can do and we're, what's available to us and like, how are we going to get, out of this thing. And, during that time, I really felt like part therapist, right? Like there was hardly even technical things. I was on the phone just nonstop, and so much with MB2. And then we get to the back half of that year, and it's like, okay, we're gonna go back out to market. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Why not?
That checks out.
We can do this.
Yeah.
We can handle it.
Let the chaos continue.
And that was 3.5 years from 2017, and so so much less restructuring needed. Yeah. So it was so much more smooth and a little bit more predictable, but wild in itself. And I got to be a part of that. The celebration afterwards, and then that there's been so much growth since then too.
Absolutely.
And I know people have been so thrilled with that partnership, and so, I try to come up here about once a month or so. And so I do feel really, really close to it and feel a part of the evolution of it. And, I feel like when I come up here, it's hugs, and
A little bit of bullying, but just a little bit.
Yeah. Some people, no, everybody's great. Everybody's kind. It's
that's awesome.
Fun place to be.
So you Saville, you all do the returns for all of our partnerships, but you also are working with a lot of our partners individually, right?
That's right.
But that's not all you do, right? I know our group, business development group, is constantly, i.e. yesterday, me blowing you up on text with questions, right? And so you all get involved in the transactions.
That's right.
A lot. And that's super insightful and super helpful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So especially with the BD team involved with due diligence. I mean, you guys have really figured out a ton, and y'all gotten really, really good at it. So I think
with your guidance, my friend,
I appreciate that. But yeah, when I get a call from you, I know like, hey, we got something to work through. We got something challenging, and so work with you guys a lot. Probably once a month, we're dealing with something pretty interesting or something to solve.
At least it's never boring.
Yeah, no, it's great dorkdom. It's fun. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of dentists that you're working with. I mean, thinking about how your firm touches most of our practices and our dentists, what are some of the most outlandish questions you received or write-offs that people have asked if they can do? Dentists specifically.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that a little bit. I think the most common things is just like these wild trips that they want to go on. Like a safari or this or that cruise, and
yeah, that's a business expense.
Oh, it's marketing.
It's marketing.
That.
Yeah. But and I think sometimes there's entertaining kind of misunderstandings where people will call it a ride off, or they'll use.
Oh, that's cute. I love a pun.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think it's intentional.
IRS doesn't like puns either, I don't think.
Well,
that's rude.
But I think one thing that came up recently was had a client that has gotten into exotic animals and had a birth of a giraffe recently, and was asking
so
about
much to unpack.
And then
sold
said giraffe, and we had to kind of help with the character of the treatment.
You didn't know you were in the trading of exotic animals.
I was like, did we learn nothing from Tiger King? We didn't.
That was 4 years ago. Come
documentary.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, we definitely run into wild stuff that we're all like, wait, what? What'd you do?
Wild was definitely the right word for that.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody has more dental clients than you?
In the country?
Yeah, I mean, like that's like
In history?
your dental footprint is significant.
Ever?
And like there's so much with any industry, there's so much particular knowledge you need to have about that industry
Sure.
to do things correctly. I mean, like that's really profound.
And why dentists?
I think this is just a natural, organic kind of move that way. I mean, I don't want to give Uncle Pucks too much credit, but I mean, it's kind of where I was drawn to, and
Yeah.
you just become an expert in what you do, right? You spend those hours, that time, those kinds of things. So yeah.
Do you have any advice for individuals or business leaders that are looking for an accounting firm, right? Do you have any advice in that search process?
In regards to like engaging an accounting firm?
Like who to select and how to select.
Look, I don't think we practice rocket science.
Yeah.
It's not a terribly difficult thing that we do. But I think you want to do your best to confirm that, they've got like capacity and excitement to work with you. Because at the end of the day, it's a relationship.
Absolutely.
And you want somebody that is personally vested in your success.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's been a good relationship for me in MB2 is because, I have this great relationship with so many people, and I feel very, very responsible for its success from a tax and accounting and whatever else my fingerprints get on. I want it to be positive. I want it to be successful. And so I think with any relationship, and probably any vendor, you want them to have some real skin in the game. And I think that's probably a hard thing to vet, but there are probably some questions and some things you can figure out.
So as a partner at an accounting firm, what goes through your head when you hear stories of accounting fraud or, firms like, the Arthur Andersen obviously is the classic crookedy story. But what goes through your head when you hear these things? Because you're always hearing about them. They're always in the news.
I'm so sorry. Can I do my dumb plug? What is an Arthur Andersen?
Well,
Well,
I think Arthur Andersen failed to find the fraud.
Yeah.
Okay.
They represented Enron. We call them the crookedy.
Crookedy, yeah. And so
symbol was literally an E that was crooked. But the pun, there's a pun. Anyway.
I think that's called irony.
Right? What was the question, Joe?
No, just like what goes through your head as a partner at an accounting firm when you hear these other stories of firms not doing their job correctly, and there being very serious ramifications. Again, people are going to jail.
Consequences.
Lives are ruined. I mean, like this work needs to be done correctly.
Yeah. No, I think there's plenty of encouragement that is one of them to do a good job.
To not get people in jail.
That's right. And
That'd be a good slogan.
Yeah. Don't go to jail. Which I think you opened with like, this guy will keep you out of jail. Typically, when I'm doing, the consequence is not to go to jail. It's you have an opportunity to fix it if you're an honest person.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, these and I don't think Arthur Andersen people went to jail. I think they just lost their job in their firm, which was a really sad deal. I think it's the Enron people that got some time in the clink. Yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many reminders like that of the consequences of not doing a good job and not fulfilling your duties and those types of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
have there been? Oh gosh, go ahead, Miss.
Thanks.
Kiefer.
I had a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I know y'all are talking about tax fraud and how that kind of stuff happens, but the tax code changes all the time, and you have to build a level of trust with your clients that you can stay on top of things with integrity. How do you guys stay up to speed on tax code changes and such?
I mean, we have a number of different things that are kind of going on at once. I mean, we, as licensed CPAs, we have a requirement to knock out 40 hours of continuing education every year, and we can do that all within our firm.
Oh, cool!
Because we have internal, education programs, and we've got a great training coordinator that gives us plenty of opportunities to meet those requirements. But we're a part of all sorts of different kind of publications and things like that. That keep us up to date on tax court rulings, tax law changes. Typically, these things they get a lot of attention in the press too, so they're hard to
miss.
That's right. I mean, I think you have to have a little bit of a bent or interest in them to be like to see them and be like, oh, I need to understand what's going on there.
Yeah, because if I was watching, I don't know that I would be like, this is.
Yeah, you might just move on.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
And so I fancy myself as kind of a endless pursuit of knowledge. I'd like to digest those things. I don't. We have several people at our firm that like to dork out on it. That you're like, when the 2017 Trump tax bill came out, I was like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, I'm going to read the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. And you're like, okay,
Nerds, I love it.
Enjoy.
But those are the people that you want.
Hit me with the Cliff Notes on Monday. And so I'm not, I'm not a code head by any means.
Is that what we call them?
I know. I can't believe I just revealed that. But I like to keep up with things. And across our firm we do that. And so you have to. And we're coming up on, all the biggest change in the last decade was this 2017 tax bill. It expires all of it at the end of next year.
Wow.
So we're
Already
approaching
preparing.
changes and things like that as we speak. And so we're getting ready for that too.
What are some of those big changes that maybe people are not aware of?
Well, the thing is that if Congress does nothing, we basically revert to what the tax regime was before this bill.
Okay.
So we lose qualified business income deduction, which was a big headliner on a deduction for flow-through income for business owners. It's a huge deal.
I actually remember that from your meeting.
Oh, nice.
Well, huge
Appreciate your
deal
attention.
for most of our partners have an S corp, right? And the S corp is
Almost all of them. I mean, they are all flow-through, so it's impactful. And then I think the other thing that gets a lot of headlines, which is also truly impactful for all the MB2 owners, is that the lifetime exclusion for estate tax or gift tax, basically what you can pass on without paying a tax to your next generation, either during your life or after death, is going to get cut in half.
Wow.
And so
from what to what? Ballpark.
Thanks, Joe.
Sorry.
It's indexed up a lot with inflation the last couple of years, so I think it's at like 26 or 27 million, which is 13 each for a married couple, and so it basically dropped down to about 13, which is meaningful because your legacy and passing on your wealth and asset transfer and all those things are super important, and depending on the outcome of the election, we'll see a flurry of gifting and estate movement early next year.
Is this what you saw yourself doing as a little boy? Like, I always wonder, did you get a caricature done of you doing tax accounting?
No, absolutely not. I thought I was going to coach basketball. Well, I probably thought I was going to be in the NBA until I was about the age of 8 or 9, and then I was like,
Hence those awesome Nikes you got on there.
yeah, that's right. But then my grandfather coached college basketball in a small town
cool.
in central Louisiana.
How cool.
And then my dad, funny enough, he coached for about 1 year in high school, and then he became an accountant. And so I guess accounting is in our blood.
Yep.
Jackson accountant as well. And I thought I wanted to be a coach, and then I did a few things in college, like substitute teach.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I also worked on the basketball program for like a few months.
Really?
And it just I knew really really quickly this ain't no.
Why?
We'll take that offline at some point.
You knew it was maybe over your skis. Like there's a
Did you say over your skis?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
It was just the lifestyle, the requirement to commitment, and at that level, and even at the high school level is it's huge. And so I just knew really quickly that's not exactly what I wanted to do.
Wow.
And at that time, I was working towards like a math degree, and I also realized I didn't want to do that. And my dad was like, "No, you're going to graduate, so carry on." And that's why I always like to tell people too. I'm like, I don't even have an accounting degree. You don't need an accounting degry. So I actually had to go back to school and get hours to sit for the exam and get licensed and everything like that. So no, I hope very few young people aspire to be an accountant because there's just accounting is so important. It's such a big deal.
Yeah.
But there are ways to have some more fun about dreaming about what you want to do.
There's some rough times a year, right, in that profession.
Sure.
I don't know why I always thought accounting was pretty black and white, but tax stuff seems a little bit gray.
It really is. And I think that's probably the main misconception of especially on the tax side of accounting, it rarely is black and white.
It's kind of fun though.
Yeah, I think it allows you to, to be creative. It allows you to understand what's important to your clients and to, kind of build things or work towards things in a way that, achieves their goals. So yeah, I mean, it's great.
That's why I need a great firm to make those important judgment calls. What advice, if any, general advice, do you have for folks that are going to be going through a liquidity event?
Yeah, I think it's. Are you talking about like a secondary liquidity event or like just?
I think tertiary.
Any sort of meaningful change in their financial situation,
Sure.
that things they could do ahead of time just to be more prepared.
Sure.
'Cause, I mean, that's we've talked about the more money and more problems, and that creates a whole lot of complication for people.
Yeah, I think step one is be organized. Understand where your wealth stands, and like specifically where it is. Is it in the thing that you are about to sell? Is it in your house? Is it in a brokerage account that is liquid, or is it in a bunch of private investments and things like that, right? So be super, super organized, and then figure out like what is your goal, right? Is your goal to pay the least amount of tax possible and walk away with the most money?
Is that not everybody's goal?
Not everybody.
Okay, sorry,
Well,
continue. There was a number 2 and I cut you off.
I think yes, but like how committed are you to that? Like, Are you going to let the tax tail wag the dog? Are you going to?
What is with these metaphors today? The tax tail wag the dog? Am I just dumb? Does everybody else understand that?
Just awesome CPA speak.
Okay,
This is
continue.
beautiful.
The dog wag.
You could be philanthropically motivated.
Got it.
You could be motivated to pass on your wealth to your children. There could be a bunch of other different things.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so if you really take the time to sit with your family or, your decision-making board, so to speak, and really figure out what your goals are, then you can really start to kind of figure out how you want to do this and decisions around it. Yeah. So I think it's organized and knowing what your goals are and what you want to do.
Awesome. No, that makes total sense. And getting a great advisor that knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Are we ready?
Appreciate you
game?
being here, but we can't let you go quite yet.
Can I go? Is it me?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we came prepared with something a little fun today. I'm going to call it the newlywed game, but the newlywed is you and your brother. So what we did.
CFO of MB2 Dental, Mr.
Yes,
Jackson.
sorry, not to be confused with
Hildebrand.
Dr. Jed Hildebrand.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to tell me who you think the question is more applicable to, you or your brother.
Okay.
And then we also polled your brother, and we're going to tell you what he said. That's the newlywed game, right?
I think.
Okay. I just think that it's funny. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Do we have like newlywed intro music that we can put right here? Dur, 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 dur. Okay. I guess that's it. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's more athletic?
Ooh. Oh, I need to probably say that
this
out
is a
loud.
podcast, yes.
That's me by a long shot.
Whoa. One-on-one. I don't have these, so I might need to.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to share. We had a whole bit planned, and he's unprepared.
No.
Are you going to
Okay.
reveal?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're
That's
doing.
his job, though.
Jackson thinks it's. Which one did you ask?
We're the first one. Where are you at?
Well, that's number 3, but okay. Jackson says it's Jackson.
Why do you think
Okay,
you're
that's
more
a one-on-one
athletic?
I
competition.
mean, the only thing he's going to beat me in is a long distance race.
Okay. That's
So, like, if a
important to know.
bear was chasing you, you would lose.
I might be able to. I
That
might
can be
be able to
mid-distance.
sprint faster.
Depends how fast the bear is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to be faster than the slowest person.
Who's the smarter sibling?
This is going to hit hard.
I'll give Jack that one.
Ooh. Okay.
That's really sweet because he gave you that one.
Nice.
That's sweet.
That is. Look at you guys.
Okay, which sibling is less patient? I got it.
Oh, that's Jack by a lot.
Yes. He said the same thing. Why? Okay, hold on. I'm going to dig into these. Why? Do you have like an example?
Have you dealt with my brother?
Yeah, no, I felt it as I said it. Okay, who's the better cook?
Jack.
You don't think you're a good cook?
No.
Big takeout guy?
Yes.
Big wing guy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. Okay, who's more adventurous?
Me?
Was that a question? Yes, he said you.
All right.
Where's your favorite place you've adventured to?
That's a good question.
College Station.
Yeah. We just got back from Costa Rica. That was a blast.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things. I heard the people there are very nice.
They are.
Monkeys are nice too.
Very
Howler monkeys.
Costa Rica forward. Yeah. it's a great
Monkeys are
place.
creepy. Okay, who's funnier?
That's me.
Yep, he agrees. Who is more, I would agree too. Who's more organized?
Jack by a long shot.
Okay, yes, he agrees with you on that. Who is the favorite child?
It's me. By a lot.
No shame in that game.
I love it. There's
He's got
no
the worst
question.
middle child syndrome
Yep.
you can ever
Little
have.
chip on our shoulder.
Can't really blame him. Who is more likely to get in trouble?
Him.
Okay, this was his answer. Jackson, but Joseph got in more trouble. So it sounds like he got in trouble more often and you got in bigger trouble.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if I'm interpreting that right. Okay, who's the better driver?
Him.
Wait. Can I ask you a side question?
Absolutely.
Did you also drive a bus at Texas A&M University?
No, I did not.
Well, then he's got to be the
forgot about
best
that.
driver because
Yeah.
he drove a bus.
Exactly.
He said you.
I'm a better driver?
Apparently.
Interesting.
Okay.
I guess it
Thanks,
could,
Jack.
it could come down to who's had more speeding tickets.
Yeah, no idea.
Okay, who has better fashion sense?
I'll give that to him.
Okay, he says Jackson.
Because
It says because of his wife.
she dresses him, I think. Is that the...
For sure she does.
Okay, who's more competitive?
Me.
Yeah, that was a really quick answer. Okay. Who's the bigger procrastinator?
Me.
Yes. JC said, is that why my taxes still aren't done?
That's a low
Ooh.
blow.
No,
Burn.
JC knows the reason his taxes are but yeah. And it rhymes with Basie.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, who's more likely to cry during a movie?
Oh, no. That's me.
So he's a softie.
Girl dad. Girl dad, you have to.
I'm an easy cry.
Me too, it's okay. Who's the better listener?
I think me.
He said Ty.
Fair.
At first I read that and I was like, who's Ty?
You'll accept that answer.
Wait, so girl dad, what's your favorite part about being a girl dad? Sorry, I went backwards like 2 questions, but
Yeah, you did. Or, well, I don't know if you did or not. But favorite part about being a girl dad?
This guy's a master braider. I know that.
excuse me?
Yep. We were going to do an on-air braiding. That was one of the ideas.
Braiding, got it.
What did you think he said?
I offered to allow you to braid my hair, but my hair's so thin I would just have like a little rat tail.
Yeah.
That'd be worth the
I could
podcast.
do Aster's, no problem.
Oh yeah, she's got gorgeous hair.
Girl dad. I don't know. I think it's just completely softened me. I think
That's why you cry.
probably. I'm the youngest of I got 2 older brothers, and I think I always thought, I shall have boys, and
Keep the family name going.
yes, very, Braveheart, whatever. But wouldn't trade it for a second.
Yeah.
I think girls are awesome. I mean, they're smart, they're kind. My girls are brave. They're athletic. They'll sit down and watch basketball and football with me too. And then some of the boys, I'm like, these boys are dumb.
And gross.
Rambunctious, chaotic,
Yeah.
rude. Yeah, man.
And so I would have never probably picked that from the get-go, but wouldn't trade it for anything.
That was very sweet. I hope that they get to hear that and appreciate their dad saying that.
They will. Absolutely. Appreciate you being here, man.
Hey,
This was fun.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
You made
Thanks for
tax
having me.
accounting interesting.
Ditto.
Yeah, I'm interested.
And our listeners are as well, my man. Thank you.
Cool.
Listeners, thank you for joining us for another great episode of the MB2 Underground podcast. We'll catch you next time.
Stay out of jail.
Out of jail. Power to the partners.